Empires could remove rulers, redraw borders, close courts, and replace governing institutions. Yet some of the most durable structures left by the ancient world were not political offices. They were methods. A kingdom could disappear while a procedure for calculation remained usable. A court could collapse while a distinction still organized judgment. A school could vanish while an inference survived in another language. Political power could demand obedience while it existed. A logical system faced a different test, remaining usable after the authority that supported it no longer existed. This is before logic, a history of rules before they were written. Most rules failed that test. Decrees lost force when officials could no longer enforce them. Administrative categories weakened when their institutions disappeared. Technical procedures vanished when specialists stopped teaching them. A tablet could remain intact while its conventions became unreadable. Endurance required more than preservation. In Mesopotamia, writing developed with accounting, storage, labor, taxation, and exchange. Records referred to specific obligations. Their political setting was local. Their operations were more portable. Quantities could be compared. Deliveries could be checked. Categories could be maintained across time. A record might depend on the authority of a palace, but the procedure used to organize it did not depend on that palace surviving forever. That distinction still did not secure continuity. Clay tablets endured for centuries, yet interpretation depended on scribal training, linguistic knowledge, and institutional use. Once those conditions weakened, the rule remained materially present but operationally absent. The first requirement of survival was not permanence, it was reproducibility. Reproducibility introduced another risk. A system transmitted without alteration might remain faithful to its origin, yet fail outside it. Greek logic shows how continuity could depend on change. Stoic logic was influential in the Hellenistic world, but much of its original textual record was lost. Aristotelian logic followed a more continuous path because its treatment of terms, propositions, contradiction, and inference could be organized for teaching. Even so, what crossed centuries was not an untouched doctrine. Aristotelian works moved through Greek, Syriac, Arabic, and Latin traditions. Translators selected terms. Commentators resolved ambiguities. Teachers reorganized material for new curricula. Arabic logicians revised inherited positions. Latin scholars interpreted the system within different institutions. Each stage altered how it was understood. Alteration appears to threaten continuity. In these traditions, it often enabled it. A structure that could not be restated outside its original vocabulary would remain confined to its first setting. What endured was not an exact verbal surface, but relations that later readers could reconstruct and teach. The system survived because it could change without becoming unrecognizable. Roman law presents a different difficulty. Here, the problem was not only translation, but authority. In the 6th century, Justinian's government ordered a compilation of imperial enactments and juristic writings. The project belonged to a particular empire and legal order. Its later influence did not depend on either surviving. Centuries afterward, scholars, especially at Bologna, studied these texts in a different political order. The survival of Roman legal reasoning was not the survival of Roman sovereignty. Medieval courts did not reproduce an unchanged ancient state. Jurists selected distinctions compared cases, and adapted inherited concepts to institutions the original texts had not anticipated. Authority alone does not explain that endurance. The categories could be applied beyond their original government. This portability introduced a deeper constraint. Logical and procedural systems did not survive by escaping institutions. They survived by entering new ones. Schools, libraries, monasteries, courts, and translation centers supplied the labor required for continuity. A syllogism required instruction. A legal category required interpretation. Detachment from one institution created dependence on another. That dependence shaped the historical record. Systems considered useful or teachable were more likely to be copied. Others survived only in fragments or summaries. The record therefore preserves no neutral sample of ancient reasoning. It preserves what passed through selective channels. Apparent continuity may conceal interruption, reconstruction, and loss. The contrast with political command can now be stated more precisely. Political authority can establish a rule quickly because compliance can be enforced. A logical or procedural system spreads more slowly because it must be learned and reproduced. Its durability becomes visible after the original authority weakens. A decree without an enforcing office becomes evidence of a former order. A procedure taught elsewhere remains available for use. This did not make such systems universal, independent, or permanently stable. It made them transferable. Their relations could be detached from one ruler, one city, or one language, and inserted into another framework. Transfer remained partial and depended on selection, reinterpretation, and institutional support. Yet even partial transfer produced an endurance that political officers rarely possessed. By the end of antiquity, the most durable systems were not simply those backed by the strongest states. They were those whose operations could be reconstructed after state power changed or failed. Their survival rested on an asymmetry. Political authority required recognition in the present. A logical structure required that its relations could be made operational again. The systems preserved from antiquity never stood outside power. They passed between powers as instruments of education, law, administration, and doctrine. Once rules could survive the institutions that first expressed them, the central problem changed. Order no longer had to appear merely effective. It could be represented as permanent, universal, and absolute. In the next episode, we will examine divine logic, absolute order as a system.